Great.
Hello and welcome back to the channel, and yeah, well, you've heard the news. Did I call this? I called it years ago. Not quite years, but you know. I said these games, I said they'll go cross-gen with their games. Reason why? Because I said about they wouldn't leave PS4 behind, because it would just be stupid of them to do so. I literally made a video on this, and my video got backlash from the PS4 fan base saying it's rubbish. PS5 will have exclusive, Xbox won't. I said they won't because Sony wouldn't be stupid to leave the fan base behind and all that revenue. And unfortunately, what didn't help was Sony agreed with me. Not only Sony agreed with the fanboys. Not only that, but they so did the media, and they all sort of pushed themselves away from Xbox, calling out Xbox on this, saying they were the ones in the wrong, Sony were in the right, all the fanboys were in the right. PlayStation 5 is going to have exclusives. It's stupid to go with cross-gen. It's a bad idea. It holds back the systems. Yada yada yada. I mean, let's just break this. Let's just break this down and go through it step by step, shall we? To see how much damage and lying and misleading Sony, the media, and their own fanboys have really done for the past year. Let's really break this down. So, when the generations all kicked off, pretty much just before last year. Around this time last year, we was told, Microsoft openly told us that they're going to support the last gen consoles, basically the Xbox One, and they'll still make games for both. This got massive kickback from the media and the Sony fanboys. For example, claiming stuff like the Xbox One will hold back the Xbox Series X and it hold back next gen games. This then quickly moved on to the narrative that the Xbox Series X won't have any games, because everyone got the impression that Xbox won't be making any games to the Xbox Series X solely just for that console. They'll only be making cross-gen games. And this was another thing that was bounced around as a massive negative towards Xbox and a bonus towards PlayStation 5, because it will have exclusives for the entire gen, where Xbox won't apparently be having an exclusive games the first 1 or 2 years. There is no reason to buy an Xbox Series X. That was the narrative they was running with, the fanboys and the media. As it says here, was quoted as saying, in response to Xbox, what they're doing with cross-gen in their games, he responded by saying that it is time to give the PlayStation community something new, something different, that can really only be enjoyed on PlayStation 5. Yep. He said it with these words. He wants to give a new experience that can only be enjoyed on PlayStation 5. And to double up on that, Jim Ryan came out with an now infamous statement. We believe in generations. Yes, we know how that's led to. And as he said back there, Sony on PS5 exclusives, we can't take everyone with us from previous gens. They had no intention of making their games cross-gen, and they was basically, this is just all prior to the launch, and they was going to completely just come out with PS5 exclusives. And the fans were happy with that, the media was happy with that. They thought everything was positive, everything was great. Xbox have let everyone down. Xbox is useless, it's holding back people, it's making mistakes, yada yada yada, yada yada yada. Anything is, at launch, they then decided to announce to the world that Horizon Zero Dawn 2 and Spider-Man is also going to be on PS4. Would put a lot of people off, but at the end of the day, they was still promised God of War at launch. And before you all come in and start claiming, oh, none of us really thought it was going to be launched in 2021. Yes, you did. You was posting on all the forums, you was posting everywhere, you was making a big doodah about it. You was all just laughing at Xbox, saying it's got no games. You've got Ragnarok in 2021. You've got Horizon Zero Dawn 2 in 2021. You've got Ratchet and Clank in 2021. You've got GT7 in 2021. And you was making those lists. You was making those statements. GT7. Let's get onto that, shall we? Let's just breeze over the fact that God of War is not only now on PS4, but is now delayed to 2022. Gran Turismo 7 is not only also been launched to, was promised in 2021, but it's delayed to 2022. But that's another game that they actually said is going to be exclusive to PS5. And you've got to come at me and say it whatever was confirmed exclusive to PS5. Are you actually going to say that? I've got receipts on you morons. I've actually got receipts. You know why I've got receipts? Because all this stuff's on social media. That means I can look it up whenever I want. I can go back as far as I want. Can't quite go forward. But I don't need to go forward because I already know, because I'm the guru. That's how I know all this shit. I already know you're going to fuck up before you've even fucked up. So I've got receipts on all this shit. All the shit you talk all the time. I can just pull it up. I'll just pull it up out of nowhere and just put it on my channel. So stop doing it. You look like an idiot. You're just too engrossed on the console war. It's like you're in love, literally, with your console.
Dang it, Buck. It's my turn to use the sex box.
It's my sex box, and her name is Sony.
And look where we are now. Sony announced that they're going to release God of War. They've delayed God of War and GT till next year, 2022, and they're going to be on PS4. And they've sort of completely flip-flopped and say they're not going to leave PS4 gamers behind now. And that's okay. It's okay if Sony does that because Sony, that's it. That's the only argument there is, because it's Sony. They're allowed to flip-flop, mislead and lie to consumers because Sony. that's the only argument they've got, really. Oh no, you've got the other argument that the fanboys, they're coming up with quite good arguments actually. Ones that I said for Xbox, which they completely said is nonsense and rubbish, and the media said it's rubbish and shouldn't follow it. They've said, oh, of course, why would they leave PlayStation 4 behind? Why would they do that? Why would they not make all their games cross-gen? What about the revenue? They're actually coming up with the same arguments now that the Xbox gamers use, but now they're in the same boat. They're actually using the Xbox gamers argument, like as if the Xbox gamers wasn't aware of this, or any other PC gamers weren't aware of this situation. It's like you're pointing the fingers, first pointing the finger, and now you're sort of just trying to pretend and just brush over it as if that never happened. No, we always believed in cross-gen. No, we always believed in sort of more money. We've always thought it was a good idea. Hold back PS5? No. Why would PS4 hold back? Why would last-gen consoles hold back PS5? No, we never said the Xbox would hold back the Xbox Series X. We never said, no, why would it hold back? We don't mind waiting for games. We don't mind waiting for games. Exclusives? Who cares about exclusives? It's all about playing and cross-gen. Let's all just get on now, shall we? Awkward laughter. Yes, so as the gen moves on, PS5 games are limited by the PS4 now, aren't they? As we all are aware, because that's what the PS4 gamers have told us for a year. Meanwhile, Xbox won't have to rely on that weakest sort of issue there, because their main audience isn't Xbox One now. As I said, they don't rely on console sales like Sony do. Their main audience now is Xbox Series X, Game Pass. Oh, there goes my phone. And PC. Not Xbox One. So they're not completely reliant on Xbox One. So their games are still going to go onto Game Pass. And still going to reach an audience of 20, 30 million people via Game Pass, because Xbox Series X and PC. So guess what? They're going to continue to make Xbox Series X exclusives. That's why they have more Xbox Series X next-gen exclusives announced. In fact, I think they'll have about 10 first-party exclusives announced. They have about another 5 or 10 third-party Xbox Series X exclusives announced. While PS5, other than Ratchet and Clank, that's all we've got confirmed. It's only going to be on PS5. I don't think there's any other first-party games announced that's coming to PS5 exclusively. Just that one game. Third party wise, you've got games like Deathloop and the Tokyo game, Ghost Tokyo, whatever it's called. But remember, they're made by first-party Xbox studios, and they will be going to Xbox next year. Sony are really in the shit position right now, and they've put themselves there. But you can't really blame them so much. It is their fans. They do have a stupid fan base. Like we have this fella, Supernova, didn't you heard him? He's flip-flop, he's incredible, just like a lot of their fan base, a lot of their YouTubers. Absolute flip-flop. Let's get two statements from this, Wally.
If the goal is to sell consoles, well, they just told you that if you have a PC or an Xbox One, you don't have to do anything for another 2 years. I fail to see how this advances the goal of selling the new box when Microsoft is saying you don't need it for another 2 years. Coming holiday 2020, introducing the world's most powerful console, the Xbox Series X. My God, that's fucking awesome. How much is it? Do you have an Xbox One? Yeah? Then you're good, kid. Can someone explain to me how that makes any sense? Now, when it comes to being cross-gen, I will say I am disappointed. But I understand why they did it, and I kind of knew this was going to happen. I think, honestly, if you didn't think this was going to be a cross-gen game, you really weren't using your brain, right? Like, I knew this was going to be a cross-gen game. I was just hoping that maybe they would make it exclusive. But you got to think about the fact that God of War sold 10 million copies on PlayStation 4, and it took them 11 months to do that with, well, at that time, probably 100 million PS4s out in the wild.
Sadly, he isn't a rare breed. The whole internet now is full of Sony fanboys, absolutely 180 and flip-flopping all over the place on this. He's just one of many YouTubers, one of just many fanboys that are now claiming that it's a good thing, cross-gen's a good thing, and last-gen consoles won't hold back next-gen consoles. And they've completely reversed, moved the goalposts, backtracked, whatever you want to call it. They look stupid. The damage controlling, basically, massive damage controlling, and we're kidding. You can blame Sony. Sony are 100% to blame this. They've misled their gamers. They've lied to their gamers for generations now. They've always doing it. They're always lying, and I just find it weird that people actually follow them. And people actually listen to this, but then, looking at the state of the world we're in now, and certain governments of the world, I won't get all political, but you can see that people are really suckered in easily by lies. Sadly, a lot of the people in the world are very gullible and very stupid, and this fan base is just one of many sort of cultish fan bases in the world that just, I don't know, I just can't get my head around it. To be honest, it's really hard to explain because I cannot fathom how it works, how their brains work, and how it happens in their head, and why they're in their heads they don't even look stupid themselves. The weird thing about this that no one's even gone about is that the games that cost £70. Sony, they talked about they've raised the price of their games because their games, the next gen games, are going to be bigger with bigger more worlds, blah blah blah, that only the PlayStation 5 can do because the SSD, yada yada yada. But then how does that sit with their games now that are going to be on 2 generations? Because the SSD isn't on the last generation consoles. Are you making 2 versions of your games? Are you still going to charge £70 for your cross-gen games, even though they're not going to be bigger or better at all? You're still going to charge £70 for your next gen game. Why is there no media backlash on that? You told everyone you're making your games bigger and better. You charge them £70, and you're not doing that at all, are you? They just look like normal generation games, the last generation games. On top of that, your games are coming out at 30 FPS still, or 1080p. There doesn't seem to be any generational boost to the PlayStation 5. Oh, you're still playing cross-gen games. You're 1080p, you're 30 FPS. What's going on here? Where's the power of the SSD? Where was that coming from? It's just one big, just bollocks, one massive lie. And I need people to talk about this. The media is just, just don't talk about it. Quick, find some negative Sony news, Xbox news. That DRM thing, anyway. Yeah, DRM. I mean, that's what I did a week ago. It's sort of, DRM. Let's talk about DRM again. It's weird. It's brainwashing is what it is, and it's weird. Anyway, I'm going to move on now. I think I'm going to go to sleep. I've got work tomorrow. I'm just going to leave it there. Let me know your opinions and thoughts below. I'd love to hear what you think about the whole thing. This crazy thing now that PlayStation now has no games, and all its games are going to be held back by the PS4. What's your thoughts on all this? If you're a PlayStation gamer, are you happy with this? I'm happy with this. I've been saying it should have done this all along. I've made videos about it, so I'm happy about it. I think it's a good idea. They should do this because they needed to survive to do this, is what I was telling them. I think they was always planning to do this. A lot of gamers now are thinking that, oh no, they're just making their PS games that are made on the PS5, they're just making them now compatible to PS. No, that's not how development works. You can't suddenly just switch a switch and it suddenly now makes it playable on PS4. That's not how it works. They was planning to make these games on PS4 all along. They just didn't tell you. They misled you to be in PlayStation 5 exclusive. And then thought, yeah, we better tell them now because it's getting quite close to time. So we'll tell them now. Otherwise, if we do it last minute, it'd look really awkward. So we'll just give it a year to sink in. That's what they thought. So let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you all for subscriptions. They're slowly creeping up. The views are slowly creeping up. Appreciate it all. Look out for me and Red Den Panda's next podcast. I had a Ultimate Game Pass giveaway on the last one, so if it's not been taken yet, no one mentioned it in the comments, so I don't think anyone found it. There was a code for Ultimate Game Pass in the last podcast. Go and check that out. But thank you all for watching, and goodbye for now.